Hello, everybody. My name is Juanito or Jay, and welcome to my YouTube channel. According to YouTube, the last time I posted on here was 8 months ago. So to be precise, 16 November 2021. And it looks like I am back. And so I just wanted to give a little bit of an update from the last time that I posted. So I was just rewatching the video to see all of the stuff that I said, and I think my biggest desire at the time was to find a place of peace, and the place at the time was December, and I was looking forward to just being able to switch off and sort of take my foot off the accelerator for a little bit. And obviously that happened, and I'm now 7 months into July, and there's lots of stuff that's happened in the middle, in an attempt to find that peace, and even more so to find ease in the way that I choose to exist in the world. I have to be honest and say that my landing into 2022 was rough. That even the time off in December, and really even ending off a little bit earlier and starting later, it helped, but it wasn't the thing that I needed to be at the level of peace and ease that I have currently. And yeah, and a lot of things were just not sitting well with me for the first part of this year, and I kept fighting what I knew was true and what I knew at the time that I needed to do for myself. And yeah, and that entailed a whole lot of different things. I stayed in therapy even since I made the last video, and therapy has been really good for helping me make sense of what I was feeling and what I was experiencing, and it's very important for me to be able to articulate what's going on for me. So I understand like the importance of feeling your feelings, and I'm getting better at that. But it is also important for me to be able to say in words what is happening for me. And therapy really helped me with that. A lot of what was going on for me for the last 2 years really was coming to terms with my inner child and all of the ways in which tiny person Juanito keeps showing up and is almost dominating adult Juanito in a lot of ways, in the way that I respond to people and to just circumstances. And so really reconnecting with my inner child, and learning to get to know her again, and then really understand what was going on, and really also understanding what my inner child needs, because I think there's been a lot of neglect as well, and lack of acknowledgement. So I did a lot of that work on my own. I did some of it in therapy, read a lot as I do, to make sense of it for myself, and find language for what I was discovering and learning about myself. And all the while trying to just help my tiny person self understand that we were okay. Like, it was incredibly difficult growing up with some of the stuff that we went through, but we came out the other side, and that we are 100% fine, and that 34-year-old Juanito can handle this. Like, we're okay. And one of the things that I did was I wrote a letter to myself, and I listed all of the things that's happened, particularly in the last 10 years, that serves as evidence that I am fully capable of taking the reins, and that my inner child doesn't have to keep defending and keep standing guard, and that I can handle this, and that I'm okay. And then, it was such a good exercise to just also for myself to see all of the stuff that's happened, that's been really, really, really good in the last 10 years. And part of the journey that I'm still on now with regards to that is really figuring out what it is that I need in order to sustain myself, in order to have a healthy relationship with myself, and how to communicate what I need with others or to others. So that's like an ongoing journey as well. And that journey continues. And what I felt very strongly coming into the second quarter of the year was that I needed a break, like a real break. And that I wasn't going to be able to do that if I was working full time. And after lots of back and forth with myself trying to negotiate this, I just decided to take the leap, and I resigned and negotiated to do some of the work that I was doing full time on a consultancy basis. And the overarching reason for that was that I was simply exhausted, emotionally and mentally, just completely done. so done. And so I needed to give myself what I needed now before I couldn't handle it anymore, and what would be required for recovery and healing would be just too much. And so I did that. I took the leap. I resigned at the end of May, and I had a plan, as I do, but that obviously has not worked out as I thought. And just to share, I had intended to work as much as possible, so find other work and keep busy as much as possible for the first 5 months after I resigned. So that would have been from June until the end of October. And then the deal that I made with myself was that I would then get this, proper rest that I needed in November. So then I would be off in November, December, and January. And that's not that's not how things work out. A friend of mine actually asked me, why do I have to wait until November to get what I know I need, which is really just rest. And the way it worked out is that I didn't get any other work besides the few days that I was working for my old organization. And that's the way it's been for the majority of that's the way it's been for June and July. And so I think God conspired to make sure that I actually got what I needed, and it wouldn't be according to whatever I think was the best thing to do. And so the last 2 months have really just been that. It's just been a completely slowing down. Most mornings, sort of like opening my eyes and realizing I actually have nowhere to go. And I don't really have any demands on my time. And I don't need to do anything. And so that was uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable, particularly because I still had the plan at the back of my mind, and also because I had convinced myself that I like being busy and I like having lots of things to do, and so that level of time to do nothing was not something that I'm accustomed to at all. So June was difficult. Like I was fighting all of that so much. July was a lot better. I've been reconnecting with old friends, doing some really, really lovely things that Cape Town has to offer. And really just enjoying the space that I've created for myself. And so we are entering into the last few days of July, and there are a few things that I've realized and discovered, rediscovered. And those are the things that I am processing at the moment as I continue on this transition, because I think that's what I'm going through now. I'm in a transition. I've been telling a few people that I'm quite obsessed with the fact that I'm turning 35 this year. So I'll be 35 in September, and I just feel like there's something about turning 35 for me, for my journey, that I'm really, really looking forward to, and I'm so expectant about what the next 5 years can mean for me in all the aspects of my life. And finally, when I really do mean that, I don't just mean my career, which has sort of been the focus of the last 10 years, but like all the areas of my life. And so when I come back on here, that's what I'll speak about. I'll speak about this transition that I'm in, and what this journey is like, as more things open up for me, as I experience more of myself, and as I move closer in alignment with what is most true for me. And I think that's where I'll end it. I think what I want to say as I come back into the space, and as I attempt to build some consistency into being here, I want to say that everything I do, everything that I wrestle with and that I struggle with, and that seems difficult, I understand that what is happening is that I am fighting to move closer in alignment to what is most true for me, and that life becomes more difficult for me when I move away from what's true. And so really that's the essence of what I'm doing. And I always like to say that what I desire the most for my life is ease. And what I know now is, for me, ease comes from being in alignment with what I know to be true for me. And the journey is moving closer and closer to that. And I understand that the ease that I'm feeling now, because I do have a level of ease that I'm feeling now, is because I've been making decisions this year, or at least in the second quarter of this year, that has honored what I know to be true for me. And what I hope and what I'm trusting God for is that I will have the strength and the courage to continue to do that. And in that way, I would not only honor myself, but also honor God, and honor the people that came before me, that made it possible for me to sit here and to even have this conversation. And I also want to honor the responsibility that I know I have to be a light for young people who come from what I come from, and who are desperately looking for something to hope for. And so my journey of being someone continues, and I am more committed than ever to love in alignment with that purpose. And so yes, that's the story as it stands at the moment, and what I have to give now, today, in this moment. And my hope is that it resonates with some of you, or that it sparks some thinking about your own journey of walking closer to what's true for you, and closer in alignment with yourself, and that I hope we meet each other there. So thank you for watching, and for giving me some of that very, very precious headspace, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye, everybody.